Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, a couple of reminders as always that I am not your financial advisor and we never provide investment advice on the channel. With that said, if you're new to the channel, to the series, thank you so much for joining us. Not sure where you came from, whether it was a related video, maybe a search in YouTube or somebody else just letting you know about the series, but we're glad to have you. And if you are somebody returning to the series, thank you so much as always. So we're going to go ahead and get into just what's going on today. And for the new folks, just make sure you go back to day one so you can kind of understand the flow of how we're going to go and do things and to get some introductions out of the way. We got some review we're going to cover first before we go ahead and get into discovery mode. So we've got not as many tabs open as we did yesterday. I know sometimes you guys see a lot of tabs like, oh my gosh, we got a lot to cover, but not so much today. So we're looking at a $1 trillion coin. We went ahead and we looked at this one some days ago. I think I also talked about this one yesterday, but I don't remember, to be honest with you. But looking at the alerts, where did we catch this one? We saw this one at 66K. That was the first time that we saw this one. That's when we set the alert. We can see that both of these alerts have triggered because it's indicated as disabled here, and same thing here. So obviously this triggered when it went under 50K, and it triggered going over 80K. Now this trigger, was today, because I actually took a look at this one. I saw the alert go off, and it ran up, to, it was over 100K, so maybe 110, about 110K. So, and then now obviously it's going through some retracement, but it was interesting to go ahead and see that one trigger and see it continue to go up. But as we know, with these larger buy candles, they never stay up there. Obviously, they might stay for a minute, just to go ahead and, for anybody looking to consider selling, just to see if there's going to be any additional buys coming in. But eventually there's going to be some sells that are coming. The question, a lot of times for these kind of candles is the sell going to be, is the sell pressure going to be massive, or is it going to be just a little bit of sells, and then it starts to go ahead and, make its next leg up. So in this case, it doesn't look like the sells were too massive, but again, it's still kind of sitting here. So we'll have to go ahead and see if there's going to be additional buy pressure coming. But we can also see here on the 5-minute, 1 hour, 6 hour, and the 24 hour that we see the minus, which the minus is going to be, in this area, right? So with that being said, just want to go ahead and make you aware of what's going on this chart, but with the alerts here, since both of these did trigger, on the over, I think we'll still set another alert because we're sitting at 80K. So obviously, alert me when the market cap goes over 80K. Obviously, we need to go ahead and adjust that. So we're not going to make a large deviation from here. We're going to go ahead and just set it at 90K. Actually, we'll make this 95 just to go ahead and alert us to any movement, heading back up. All right. And then we're going to set this new alert, posted market cap at 80K. All right, so that takes care of that one. And then for the under, obviously we got to adjust the posted market cap. We're going to do that for 80K. Okay, and then going under, right now we're sitting at 80. So I would say let's make this, let's make it 60K. I don't know if it's going to retrace that much, but again, we're only talking, 20,000, from the posted, from the current posted market cap anyway. So we'll see, what kind of movement takes place on this token as we continue to watch it. So that's going to take care of $1 trillion coin. And then the one we've been talking about, since I mentioned this one I was watching, down here in like the 17K area. This did, it's continued to make moves ever since I brought this one back to your radar, ladies and gentlemen. And so I remember doing a video where this was sitting at 42K. Obviously this is now touched, if we're looking at this, around 140K. So it's continuing to make some movement. Now, if we go ahead and we zoom in on the chart a little bit more so we can see what's going on with the candles, we're in some retracement, but do I foresee that this is going to continue to retrace? I mean, maybe a little bit, but I don't see it dumping. And I think that it may continue or may start to head back up, because obviously we're seeing that as we get these buys, we're getting some sells here. We get the buys, then we get a little bit of sells. This one, a couple of good, buy candles here, and then we get some retracement, strong buy candle here, or some strong buy pressure here, and then we get the sells. So I think I personally think, there's a good chance, it may continue to follow this pattern, where we get some buys, we get some sells, we get some buys, and maybe, just maybe at some point, we might actually see a breakout on this. I don't know. I think right now, today's the 27th, we still got, what, 4 days, before New Year's. So, I mean, there is definitely some time for this to, actually get people's attention and start to maybe move a bit more than what we're seeing. Because right now, it just seems like, we're making some gradual movement. We make some movement up, then we come back down. We make some more movement up, then we come back down. And we make some more movement on up, and we come back down, right? So we're at 78K. And, like I said, saw this one, down hit the bottom levels, after, my initial post, which was several, like a while ago. And then it started to go ahead and make some moves again, so I think maybe as we get closer to New Year's, this one may be one to definitely keep an eye on, that it may, really make some moves. But again, it's all speculative. We don't know for sure, but like I said, moving away from the Christmas holiday, where are, the folks that were in those Christmas tokens, where they're moving their money into. Likely it's going to be into the New Year's tokens, right? Okay. And then after New Year's, we'll be moving into, likely, the inauguration, of the next president. That's probably where we'll start to see more of those kind of tokens pop up. I wouldn't be surprised to see that, so yeah. But anyway, again, putting this one on your radar to continue to keep an eye on it. Looking at the alerts here, this one's active, as far as, alert me when it goes under 65. So, I still think sitting, here at 78K, this alert makes a lot of sense. Okay. And then I'm not adjusting the posted market caps on this. And here on the disabled one, alert me when it goes over 110. We could go ahead and make the deviation a little bit smaller on this one, to maybe, I don't know, 95K. So, I can see where that could make a little bit more sense, as far as, looking at where the current market cap is and, looking for any movement as far as an indicator, concerning this token for anybody that's still kind of just watching to see what it's going to do. All right. So we're going to go ahead and close this one out. And then Thera, this one, Ken, I've been talking about this one for some days now, that this one is interesting to me because it continues to move. We're sitting at 907 right now, and that's essentially the all-time high. So I'm looking at the alerts here. This one's disabled. Alert me when it goes over 515. We set this, the original posted market cap was 498. I think so, because this was created 3 days ago. So 498, and now, so essentially it's done, almost a 2x, so, but either way, it's continuing to move. It's been gradual movement, but it's continued to move, since we started watching this one. So we'll see that we'll get, even now sitting at 882, according to this, but this is saying 913. So this is actually more accurate, 913, and this will catch up with it eventually. But, definitely a good chart. This is what a nice looking chart looks like. So, so for this one, we're going to adjust the alerts. We're going to actually edit the posted market caps. So this, we're sitting at 913. Okay. And for the over, for this one, I'm actually not even going to set an over for this. So we're going to cancel that, because I don't really need to set the over, especially sitting at the all-time high where it is right now. And like I said, it'll catch up, so it did. But if you're new, there's always a delay between what you see in this informational, section right here and the tab. So the tab doesn't always line up, this well, where we see 913, 913, and then we can actually see 913 on the chart. It doesn't always line up that way. Sometimes the numbers look a little different. But either way, let's go back here. And again, this one makes more sense to set the under. So here we set this 913 posted market cap, and the deviation's not going to be crazy, but I'm going to, now it's touched 1.1 million. Okay. So 498, was the original 1.1 million. It's at a 2x now. So I'm glad to go ahead and see that, live during the recording. Let's go ahead and set this one at, if we look at this, I got to exit out of here. If we look at this candle, there's going to be some retracement. So actually, I'm going to probably set this at, let's say 800K. So I know the retracement, or the alert's going to be a little bit farther than what I was thinking in terms of, the deviation. But now that I saw that big jump, I think I'm going to set this, at 800K, because I think it's going to come down. The question is it going to be heavy retracement or not? There are people at this point, because it's still sitting at, well, now it's at 1,038,000. It's still kind of sitting around that 1 million area. there's going to be some sells. There may be people looking to see, are there going to be more buys, just trying to go ahead and get as much as they can out of the bag they're holding, but it'll come down. Whether it's going to come down to 800K, that I don't know. But all right, so this one was, I think we said, start that we were going to do 913K. So there we go. We're setting that. So there we go. And we'll see what it does, from here. But like I said, this one continues to be pretty interesting to me. Okay, so that takes care of that. And that's going to cover, our review portion of this. So we're going to get into the filters. So this screen has been reset. And so what we're going to do, we're going to go to the configuration. Okay, so I always get rid of, not age, price, transactions, volume, and makers. We keep the time frames, we get rid of liquidity, and we keep market cap. So there we go. And if you're new, this is pretty much, what I do in terms of this is the information that I want to see. I don't really need to see the rest. Okay, because you can always configure it to what you want to see as well. Okay, so what are we going to do? Filters here, platforms. Let's focus on both ETH and Solana. One of these days, we'll go ahead and we'll check out Base as well, but we're not doing it yet. Okay, we keep liquidity at 1,000. We never touch that. And market cap, we're starting out at our standard 50K. Again, I tend to start at 50K because I tend to think that, hey, if a token can't make 50K, I'm probably not interested in looking at it. Now, for you, you may want to go ahead and look at something, lower than 50K. You may want to look at something higher than 50K. But for me, 50K is my starting point. Now, we're looking at 2 chains, so I'm not going to go ahead and go real crazy on the max value here. We'll go ahead and we'll just go out to 150 and we'll see what we get. And if we don't like what we get, if we really don't get anything that kind of looks interesting, we'll go ahead and we'll come in, we'll readjust this. So we're going to be looking at 12 hours to, 50 hours. So let's do that. And again, it's just arbitrary numbers that I'm putting in here. If I don't like what I see, just come back in and you can adjust the filters. That's the joy of adjusting our filters. Okay, so we're looking at 24 tokens. Most of what we got up here, pretty much all we got up here until the 16th one, they're non-scams. At least I can't say they're non-scams, okay, not definitively, because at the end of the day, we still got to look at the charts, right? But any of these, so this is really what I'm talking about. Any of these, we see the question marks, and I always put these up, at least a couple of them, in every video, just to go ahead and show you, don't get any socials. So candle is going straight up, pretty much. Been on live for 18 hours. Absolutely, this is definitely a scam. Okay, and here, no socials, but the chart doesn't look bad, actually. But no socials for me automatically means it's one I'm not going to touch. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and open some of these and see what we get. All right, so Bald Eagle. Ooh, where am I at? I'm starting out at 8. My bad. Okay, we're going to hold up, guys. Let me go ahead and close these out. We're going to, and Flush was one we looked at yesterday. But I was looking at it overnight, and I didn't really like what the chart was doing. So, okay, Pickle, Mars, and NXT, and then Milton. Okay, so we're going to open these up. We're going to take a quick look, to go ahead and see what the chart's looking like, make sure they got some socials associated with them, so obviously we looked at this one yesterday, so we're going to keep that on the 5-minute. Okay, and this one, we get a telegram, as well, but we're going to move over to the 15 minutes, see what's going on here. A lot of retracement. I'm not interested in looking at this one. This one really looks like it's going to be dying, no time soon, especially since you got more than 50% retracement on the 6-hour, time frame here. All right, Gopher, we get a telegram here. Let's take a look at the 15 minutes. This one looks dead to me, okay? Because, you've got a chart, essentially went up on the launch, came back down, it recovered, and then, you're just looking at just more and more retracement, from there. And you've got some, big number going on here, almost 70%, on the 6-hour time frame. Not interested in this one either. Just not going, some of these are just not going to waste our time on them, okay? And here, this one kind of looks interesting to me, but we don't have a telegram, so that one, is out for me personally. Okay, and then Pickle here, let's see what we got going on. We do get a telegram. The chart looks pretty decent, so we'll keep that one. This one, we got a telegram. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Chart looks decent. And we're going to move on here. Let's see what's going on in the 15-minute. Okay, this one looks, interesting too in terms of the chart pattern. We do get a telegram. We'll keep it. And let's see here, 15 minutes. This one, a lot of retracement, a lot of red on this chart. Not interested. Okay, so we got 4 that we can take a look at. We're going to go ahead and go back over here. Let's see if we can open up some more. Kiki. Let's see what's going on here. Bald Eagle, not interested in that. Okay, I'm short Bitcoin. Okay, so let's see here. Kiki, let's go over to Kiki. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, so the chart looks pretty decent on this one. They got a Telegram, good. Okay, and meme game, not really crazy about this chart actually, but we'll keep it. Bald Eagle, wow. Can you imagine if you were here at this area and then this thing just took off? That's pretty good. So this one I'm curious about as well to see like why on earth, do we get this right here? Trench, let's see, Trench Confessions or Trench Fessions. So this one looks kind of like a bottomed out chart, but it does look like there's some activity here. Just looking right here. We're 27, in the minus, on the 6 hour. I mean, we could take a look at it. So let's see. And I'm curious to see what this says. Raw and unfiltered stories from the Solana trenches. Okay, so let's see. Okay, and here this is FTC. I really don't like this chart. And they got a Discord and a Telegram, and I'm not crazy about this chart either. When I talk about how I'm not crazy about the chart, there are just charts where I look at it where I can tell it looks healthy, and then charts that are just kind of suspect to me. And this is one of them, and so was the last one. So, and you just see enough charts over time where you just kind of know what charts you may want to be curious about following and which ones you don't. I think on second thought, looking at this one, we'll just go ahead and leave this Trench Festions alone. So, okay, so we've got what, 6, that's 4, 7. Okay, so we got 7 we're going to go ahead and take a look at. Let's see what's going on. Actually, we're not going to look at Fush. We looked at this one yesterday. Let's take a look at the alerts here. Both of them were triggered. We looked at this originally at 189. I mean, it's retraced quite a bit. So this is one where you could look at the retracement as an opportunity. But I think maybe when I'm done with the video, maybe I'll go ahead and take another look, in the Telegram on this one, but not going to recover this one just because we talked about this yesterday. So if you want to see, what was said in regards to Fush yesterday and then kind of see what their channel looked like, I definitely encourage you to go back to yesterday's video. Okay, so we're going to close this one out and we'll look at the remaining 6 as far as our discovery and see what we like and don't like about each one, and then see about setting some alerts as long as everything checks out, in the Telegram channels. So here we go. Let's open up Pickle, see what we got. Okay, so all right, so here when you see this tap to verify here, it's an easy way to go ahead and find the portal entry, so we'll go right here. Here we go, and okay, so here we go. Just over 730 members in the channel. Last buy took place, 1 minute ago. They are trending. This is an ETH token. What do we got going on in terms of their pin messages? Okay, so all right, CMCCG applications. All right, cool. The art looks pretty good, as well. So they got some ads going, so, I mean, they are trying to go ahead and get, this token some exposure, which is always positive to see. So we're going to come back out here, so they got some buys, they got some stuff going on in terms of getting some exposure, that all, looks good to me. So we do have a minus, on the 1 hour, minus 11, not a big deal there, and so obviously we got buys coming in. So we're sitting at 106. For me personally, looking at where we are right now in the chart, I'm actually looking for more retracement because even if the chart goes up even further, I wouldn't find that to be a good entry if it was me looking at this token to go ahead and get an entry. I've mentioned it several times in other videos. You can always go ahead and just throw in a few bucks just to get your buy on the chart. And then go through Maestro, the links are in the description, for the Maestro bot, trading bot. And what you would do, again, if I'm operating as if it was me, I would go ahead and set my threshold, for the buy. After like I said, I'd go ahead and put like maybe a $2 or $3 buy. And since this is an ETH token, obviously you got to account for gas too, right? So your buy would probably want to be larger just to make it make sense, so, because if you're sitting anything above, 15 Gwei, making a $2 buy, like you're going to be spending more on your buy than your gas is actually going to be more expensive, So yeah, your buy is going to have to be a little bit larger because you're talking about an ETH token. It's a different situation with Solana, where the fees are just, ridiculously just stupid low. But, for ETH, your buy is going to have to be larger just for it to make sense. So keep that in consideration, keep that in mind. And so yeah, but once you get that buy on the chart, you can go ahead and go through Maestro and you can set your buy, your dip buy, at whatever threshold you want it to be. We saw this, closer to 110. And I could go ahead and say, well, because probably one of the alerts that I would set for this is going to be probably around 80K. And if it hits 80K, then I'd say, hey, okay, I want you to go ahead and make this buy. So now you've got the bot watching the chart for you, and you've also got the alerts through Dexscreener. So here we go. What we're going to do, we're going to set the alerts. So we're going to go straight to market cap, goes under, and I said 80K. So that's what we're going to do. We saw this, I think, at 106. Hopefully I'm right. Okay, so there we go. So that's our under. And then for our over, we can go ahead and set this, at, I don't know, 120K. Even though we really don't need an over at this point just because of where the chart is. So 106. Okay, so there we go. So that's our over. Okay, so that one takes care of that on Pickle. Okay, but like I said, for me personally, I think this is going to go ahead and retrace a bit more. I don't, and even if it goes up, I still think it's going to still retrace. So that's that. That's my thought there. Here on Mars Coin, I'm going to take a look at the, at their channel. They got some minuses going on, minus on the 5-minute, 1 hour, and 6 hour. And again, the numbers aren't horrible. But once you get to be about, 50, 60, 70%, at that point, it's either you're looking at it and you're thinking, based on what you see in the community that, hey, maybe it could go ahead and start to go up. So, like I did, was it yesterday? I think yesterday I set this Hail Mary on a token where it looked like it was pretty much dead, but I'm like, hey, I think it was on the toe token that I said, hey, maybe at some point there might be some revival in terms of activity on this chart. And so I set an alert, for it. But at the end of the day, it can't hurt, right? Because you don't have to monitor the alerts. Excuse me. Once the alert's set, even if the token kind of sits dead for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden it comes alive again, that alert's not going anywhere unless you go ahead and remove it. And when the alert triggers, like I said, make sure you got, Dexscreener on your phone, make sure you got it on your computer. When it triggers, you're going to get that alert, and as long as you're signed in on both devices, it is going to show you, what that alert is. And then you can go ahead and make a decision from there. So, okay, so we're going to go ahead and check out the channel. So let's do that. So here we go. All right, we're going in. We got the link here. It's a CTO. Okay, so we got some rating going on. Okay, but I'm not seeing a buy yet. Oh, there we go. Okay, so 11:35. So that's a minute ago. Okay, so rating, anything else going on? Okay, they paid for a boost. So again, we got some stuff going on in terms of them trying to invest and, gain some exposure, for the token. On this one, because there's already been some retracement, excuse me, 50-50, this could retrace a little bit more, but we don't know. We don't know that for sure. Hold on, guys. I got to take a drink. Okay, so at the end of the day, again, you've got a couple of different options here. Like I've said many times before, if it's me, I'll go ahead and throw a small buy on the chart, and then if it goes down, hey, I'm in loss, but it's not big, right? So, but at this point, for me personally, if it was me, I would not make a big buy here because, again, when you got this kind of retracement, you make a big buy, guess what? You become exit liquidity for somebody else. So if you want to increase, if I was looking to increase my position, let's say that this is one where I thought that, they had a chance to maybe get back, to some of these higher peaks on the chart, I'd go ahead and increase my position by making small buys. I could make several small buys that really doesn't raise any flags for anybody. And they're not trying to go ahead and gobble up my buy because, I'm not putting a big, green candle on the chart. But if, again, it's basically just taking nibbles, at the chart, when it's in kind of these risky danger, zones where, people are selling, and there isn't a whole lot of conviction, at this level. So again, if there are buys that start to come in, then people that are kind of on the fence, they start to go ahead and look and say, okay, maybe I'll go ahead and I'll buy back into the chart. Because again, what do people do in terms of the behavior? They tend to follow buys and they also follow sells. It's just kind of herd behavior, and that's pretty, typical in crypto. So what we'll do for this one, since we already looked, at the channel, we're sitting at 111 or 110 according to the tab here. We're going to go straight to market cap, goes under. And we're going to set this, because again, it could retrace some, further. So I'm going to set it at 80K. All right. And so right now the posted market cap is 110. Okay. So there we go. So that's under. And then we're going to set our over. And again, we're not looking for a large deviation here, just something that kind of tells us, okay, it might be starting to reverse a bit, right? So we're going to go with that over. We're going to set our posted market cap at 110K. And We're going to go to, 110, let's say 125. 125 should be enough of an indicator to, kind of put this back on a radar that, hey, oh, it might be starting to go in the other direction. So there we go. There's the alert there. And for anybody that's new, if I'm going too quickly, just make sure you go back, and review the material, the content. That's the joy of, just posting the video, is that you can always go back and reverse it and, listen to it as many times as you need to. But once I get going, I just tend to talk a little bit faster. So that's just my own pattern behavior. Okay, so we're going to close this one out. And net share. So this one, again, the chart doesn't look too bad. I'm kind of trading sideways, for now. So got some minuses, but the minuses aren't anything crazy on the 5 minute to 1 hour. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and check out the channel, see what's going on there. Okay, so here's our portal. Okay, so there we go. Just over 500 members in the channel here. So not seeing anything right away in terms of rating, or buys. So let's see. We're at 1140, and this is saying 1115. So this is already outside my buy window. So if you're new, I tend to think that if there isn't a buy within 10 minutes, of each other, then, people just don't like stagnant charts, so when you go back out here and you look, what's going on with this chart, I am going to guess that there's going to be further retracement on this. So this is saying 117. My guess is that there's going to be more and more sells, because when charts kind of just stand like this and there's no activity in terms of buys, guess what happens? People go ahead and say they sell, because they kind of feel like, hey, there's just not a lot of interest, in the token. And we didn't see anything in terms of engagement from the community, in terms of rating. Okay, didn't see anything in terms of trending, either. So it's just kind of sitting here, which means, and looking at so many charts I've looked at, just kind of over my time in crypto, this is, I feel like there's a high likelihood that this is going to continue to retrace, and it'll be kind of tough to go ahead and get back, to this area or to this area on this chart, since it's kind of just really idle right now and there's nothing going on in terms of buy pressure. Okay, so we're going to leave this one alone. Kiki, we're sitting at 133. Let's take a look at what's going on the channel. All right, so here we go. All right, so here we go. And we got just over 400 members in the chart, in the channel. We got a VC going. I always like to see this as a positive signal. We got engagement, on the rating. Okay, and so you always want to engage the community. You want to kind of, help them work as well, to complement, what the team's trying to do too, to move the token, so rating the VC, don't know if, okay, and here, okay, and you'll see this, when we've got like holders, with a large amount of tokens, a large amount of supply, it's not uncommon to go ahead and see, teams, ask them to split, so that, let's say that somebody's checking out bubble maps, and haven't covered bubble maps, in a little bit, but if you go to, and this one doesn't even have bubble maps, on it, but a lot of charts do. So you can see bubble maps, on this one. But it really kind of gives you a visual representation of what the holder distribution looks like, so, and there are people that do go ahead and check, what the holder distribution looks like. And if you got somebody that's got a ton of tokens, that's one good reason why they would not go ahead and jump into the token, because they know that somebody holding a ton of tokens could go ahead and dump and essentially kill the chart, so just understand that, that if that happens and you want to go ahead and check out the holder distribution, that if you see something, you see somebody with like, really anything more than 5%, when you start to get in that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% area, that is crazy. And that's enough for people to go ahead and say, I'm going to avoid this token altogether. So, but with that being said, like I said, we've got some activity on this one. So this is one I think would be worth taking a look, at setting some alerts. So we're this says 133, this says 136, but this will catch up. So we're going to market cap, and actually, let me take a look at this again. I think there could be further retracement on this one, and quite frankly, I'd be interested in taking maybe a position if it retraced a bit more. So we're going to go to market cap. We're going to go to under. This is. So we're going to set this, deviation won't be too terrible. So at 100K, we're going to say this is 136K as far as the posted market cap. So there we go. And for the over, let's set it at, 150. No, we'll do 155. 155. So the deviation from the posted market cap is not crazy either on this. So there we go. That takes care of Kiki. And then this is meme gain. or game. Let's take a look at the channel on this one. See what we got going on. Okay, so I'm not seeing a portal yet. No portal. Okay, there we go. Okay, sometimes you got to go and scroll up, especially if they don't pin anything on, in here. So there we go. Let's see here. Okay, so we get in here. Any buys? Okay, 11:37. That would have been, 7 minutes ago. Okay, so we got some activity going on there. No rating, but anything going on in terms of trending? I don't see anything. Okay, they got a burn going on. Okay, so this is one where I'm not crazy about it, but I don't know. Maybe we can go ahead and set an alert on this one just out of sheer curiosity. I actually think this is more likely to go ahead and retrace than it is to go up, just because of what I'm seeing. And burns aren't really as bullish, as they used to be, unless you're really burning a ton, to kind of get to that level of supply shock, but you rarely see a lot of tokens get to supply shock anyway. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's set an alert. I'm really only setting an under alert. I don't really care about the up alert at this point for this one. But that's just me personally. So the under alert for this one, we're sitting at 98, and this is actually saying, just over 100, so 104. I'm going to set this one at 75. So a larger deviation, but I just think that, looking at the chart, and I'm not really seeing a lot of, things that would tell me that, hey, people are really excited about this one, that I think it's going to retrace, that far. I actually think it can retrace further than 75K, but that's just my own thoughts on that. So we're going to close this one out. And then Bald Eagle, again, I think this is, especially if you're somebody that got in here, this is incredible right there. So let's take a look at the channel, see what we got going on in this one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click start there. And, okay, so we got 47 members in here. So this, to me, maybe this kind of looks like a CTO, but it's not labeled as a CTO. So I don't really know, but their engagement, for their rating is incredible. I mean, to get 34 likes, out of 36 in a community of less than 50 people, that's pretty good. That's really, really good. So I love the engagement. That is something that right away that gets my attention on this one. So in the last buy, it was 11:45. We're sitting at 11:46 on my clock. So the raid's going. Don't know how long the raid's been going, and they don't have any other pinned messages. So I really don't know. I have no idea what's going on here in terms of why they're getting so much buy pressure on this. I've got no idea. So, but I am certainly quite curious, about this one. So, but investigating the Telegram's not really telling me much, but this is, it's pretty good. Why, that they're getting that kind of activity, on this token. So either way, for this one, I wouldn't be interested, in an entry here. For me personally, I'd be interested in something lower. So I'm going to set the market cap under, and the under alert's the only one I'm going to set. So we're at 114, and I'm going to set an under for 80K. Okay. Now I don't know if it's going to get to that level, but that's where I'm setting it. So 114 is the posted market cap. Okay. So that one's going to take care of that. Okay. So we're going to X out of that. Give me a second. Okay. So we're going to close this out, and I think, that's going to go ahead and do it, for me on this one. We still got a number of different alerts, so, but, I've gone ahead and I've opened, some alerts you can see here. Purple Doge, that one, obviously that slipped under 60K. Finger Elon Musk, that's one that I've still been watching. That one went under 200K. So those are ones, depending on the alerts you're setting, you can always decide. Definitely review your alerts daily. And remember, the difference between the alerts, when you look at the desktop versus the phone, when you look at the mobile version of Dexscreener and you look at your alerts, it gives you a lot more information. You can actually see what changes are going on, on each token. So I'm looking, on my phone right now to go ahead and take a look, at the alert so I can make sure I'm giving you the right information. But what I'm seeing on the phone is that it gives you, your liquidity, your volume, market cap, your 1 hour change, and your 24-hour change. And then it tells you whether the alert's active or disabled. And it gives you the information, like what you're seeing here, as well. And it also tells you your posted market cap if you're doing it the same way that I'm doing in terms of putting that posted market cap in your node. So like I said, it gives you some information on the mobile device that it doesn't give you here. So a lot of times what I'll do, if I just really want to see quickly, truly what's going on, I'll look at the mobile instead of, firing up the desktop and looking there. So just keep that in mind, in terms of, the different things that you can see informationally on the mobile version of Dexscreener versus the desktop version of Dexscreener. But I do advise that you definitely want to, log into your, to your Dexscreener, and they give you 3 different options. I think they do it through connection through a wallet, through Google, and I think there's one other option, but I don't remember what it is. But like I said, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you so much again, as always, for tuning in. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow, with some more review and some more Dexscreener opportunities. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.